So, my non binary feminist ally asked me to talk about this article, and I thought it's a really interesting idea because I've been talking about gender stereotypes and gender identity the whole week. So, I might as well talk about what it means to be a man. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. See, this is not manly. Me singing. Definitely not man. Don't do it. Right, so, I actually thought about this a lot, right? I thought about this a lot. Why is it that I don't know if I should call it the new generation, like I should say millennials, but I found out that it turns out that I'm a millennial. I was born in the time period, and I caught the millennial train. So fuck it, I need to defend my people. Not all millennials, but these social justice enthusiasts. There, I made the correct definition. The social justice enthusiasts don't seem to like being put in a box. This is what I read all the time. It's like, why do you put me in a box? Why? And the reason they don't like to be put in a box, because what they mean by the box is the harsh word that's expectations, right? And the problem of having expectations is that when people expect you to behave in a certain way, you can bring upon disappointment. So basically, when you don't meet the expectations, you have two choices. You can try harder to fulfill the expectation, and at the same time, you can also just bitch, whine, and complain, hoping that the expectation is going to go away. Most people choose the latter. But anyway, so this article is written by David G. Schwartz. See, I told you. A German. Behind every European tragedy, there's a smiling German. Jesus, don't... I'm joking. I'm kidding. The last thing I need is to be called a German. Hey, Germans are good people. They make good sausages, right? Okay, just stop. Stop. I don't hate Germans. I just make the joke. In poor taste. I apologize. Right. So let's talk about, why the idea of male expectation exists, right? Why does society wants to put you in a box? Is it for your own good or not? Because this is the question that you need to ask. Are these expectations reasonable? Like, should I act in this way? Or are these expectations completely unreasonable and I just should ignore them? So, it turns out that the expectations of being a man, for some weird reason, coincide with what women find attractive in men. Can you imagine this? It's almost as if man and woman are two things that are meant to complete each other and, work on each other minuses. Like you bring your plus to her minus and she brings her plus to your minus and together you make a whole. Isn't this a romantic notion that I just said? Oh, fuck me. But anyway, right, so it turns out, according to Newsweek, I don't know if this is a right-wing rag or not, but it does talk similar to what I found women say in pretty much any women magazines on what they like about men. And it turns out that when women look at the man, they focus on, how should we call this? Let's say a healthy body, right? Biceps, pecs, chest. Perceived sexual ability, things that indicate wealth for financial security for her and the children, I assume, or maybe like the fact that you need to be smart in order to have the amount of wealth. Pictures showing other representations of masculinity, such as fatherhood and more emotional and awkward appearing men, were far less frequent. So women don't seem to like... I mean, it's not that they don't like. They're not attracted necessarily by, a man holding a baby. Now, what's interesting about this is that, from my personal experience, not liking kids, right? Like, if you don't like a baby, it's a major turnoff for women. So liking kids is just like on zero level. Like, it's not going to cause her to be attracted. It's just like it's required, but if you don't like kids, it's like a major downgrade. You need to still, at least pretend that you like other women's kids or the animals. There's some things that if you don't have, it's automatic disqualified. And this is from my personal experience. Take it with a grain of salt. But anyway, right, so now we look at what the good doctor here is bitching about what it means by society to be a man, you know, the box of being a masculine. So he talks about how masculine is defined as strong, muscular, heterosexual, dominant, cop, fighter, mechanic, lawyer, businessman, CEO, leader, or violent. Okay, I would remove violent. I mean, but here's the thing, like, violence itself is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, violence we know is caused by testosterone. We know in biology that this is the case. There are studies where animals were injected with testosterone and their aggressiveness has increased. Being violent can also be a good thing. Like, imagine I'm on the street with my girlfriend and all of a sudden, let's say I'm with my girlfriend and my kid. The kid came out of the flowers, he's a bastard. I didn't marry the woman, right? But it's my kid, it's not my wife's son. But anyway, right, so the dog attacks me. Am I going to hide behind my woman and my kid? Are we all going to run together? Or is it, you know, expected of me to try to find the branch and hold off the dog while the woman runs to safety? You know, which one do you think, if there would be like 2 videos and you would show it to other women, which one do you think would make me look more attractive? Me defending my family, or me taking a branch, throwing it to the woman, and I keep it at bay, I'm going to run with the children? Even like, and this is, by the way, right, this is even something that feminists at the subconscious level understand. There was like this incident several years ago with a ship that started to sink. I forgot the name of the ship. I'm pretty sure someone in the comment section remembers it. But a lot of men were rushing towards the lifeboats and not allowing the women and children first, right, as society dictates. And a lot of feminist rags started complaining and calling it sexism and misogyny, and it's like, okay, but you wanted equality, right? In equality, you wouldn't care that a woman is behind you and you're taking her place in a lifeboat. Now, there is also, you know, the evolutionary argument based on the fact that if a society would lose half its men, you would still be able to function as a society, while if a society loses half its women, then it's a lot of a problem because, no, sorry, 3/4. If a society loses 3/4 of its men, the remaining men can, you know, still repopulate the future generation, while if a society loses 3/4 of its women, you would not be able to function as a society. This is why it's expected for a man, for instance, like a firefighter, who, let's place him in this hypothetical scenario that there's a woman on the left side of the burning building and there's a man on the right side of the burning building. It's socially acceptable for him to always go and rescue the woman. So this is why, you know, evolutionary speaking, women are attracted to strong men who also are doing these professions that are quite deadly. You know, some of these professions, like being a firefighter, being a cop, right, or being a soldier, these are professions that mostly men do, and the way society encourages them to do it is like, yeah, you need to be a man. You know, when you're a soldier, like, oh, you need to be a man, go there, take the hill, you know, fight off that MG-14 emplacement. That's, they bank on the desire for men to be men in order to perform these things that are deadly but are required for a society to function, you know? And this is like, not fair. I'm going to say, you know, as a man, yeah, it's not fair. It's I understand why some don't really feel comfortable doing it, but it is what it is. Women have to fit also certain gender roles, certain things that they might not consider to be fair. For instance, fashion. And this is like women bitching at other women if they're not fashionable. You know, it's not men that are going to teach other women how to be fashionable. It's women telling other women on how to use makeup and judging others. Like, if you're in at a high school environment and you see like a woman going on the hallway and she's like, and right behind her you see, look at the shoes she's wearing. You know, it's like, it's just a different different environment. And this is why I think that most feminists don't understand the other gender, because you really need to look deep into it and understand that it's just different issues they are facing with. You know, the issues that men are facing with are completely different than the ones women are facing with. And just because, you know, for instance, as a man, you don't get women going and it's like, oh, take off that t-shirt, baby, show me those nipples. You know, doesn't mean that you can't have a girl that says, oh, what, are you a virgin? Why are you still playing video games at that old age? Grow the fuck up. You know, you're still reading comic books. Different problems, right? That one gender is facing, the other one isn't. And this causes a lot of lack of understanding, right? But here's what really makes me find it interesting, right? Because feminism is about destroying gender roles, right? This is the idea, right? We need to take people out of a box, deconstruct the box. This is the, right? But here's the thing. They don't. They just make a different box. Just make a different box. It's like, okay, if you're a man, you're not allowed to manspread. If you're a man, you need to shut the fuck up and check your privilege. Let the brown women speak first, and then the white women, and then maybe you can get a go. But if you get a go, just make sure you parrot what the women said. Otherwise, you're not a good ally, and you're a problem. Men should not be left alone with children because they're rapists. And it's like, okay, these constructions, these boxes, what it needs to be a male are expectations that don't help one in life. This is the difference. Fitting the box of what, you know, it's considered to be masculine actually helps you in life. I mean, are you honestly telling me that you will be unhappy if you become a lawyer or a CEO and can have access to the girl of your dreams? Because the chance of the girl of your dreams to like you is increasingly higher as, you know, you fit into the idea of masculinity. The more masculine you are, the girl of your dreams is more likely to like you, right? But if you, for instance, look like Carl the Cock, maybe the girl of your dreams is not really going to be that interested in you. And here's the thing, right? Because this is what really annoys me. This is how they try to social engineer society, and they basically, through political correctness, by not being allowed to disagree, or by shutting you or deplatforming you if you disagree, they try to create this image that this is the correct man of 2017, right? If you look like this is how men should behave in society, right? Like Steve Shives, you know, these are the good allies. This is the example of what it means to be a new man, the new age man. But when you actually look at what women like, when you actually read some of the women erotica, when you actually look at some of the movies women like, who do you think, you know, like take a random woman, like, okay, no, not even that, right? I have 70,000 subscribers. Some of them happen to have a vagina. Tell me which one of these people would you rather contact you on Facebook? Which one of these people would you rather contact you on Facebook when you were a teenager and you were single? Would you rather have the toxic masculinity, Khal Drogo, who makes rape jokes, who says that the reason he liked playing Game of Thrones is because he got to pretend to rape some beautiful women? Or would you rather have Carl the Cock going, hi, ASL, question mark, where are you from? Huh? Or not even that. Would you rather have Carl the Cock contact you and say, I find you very interesting. I am a male feminist ally and I desire to hear your complaints so that I can further upon, you know, use my male privilege to push upon the world. So, or would you rather have this guy going like, hi, ASL? But okay, maybe I'm wrong, you know. So I thought, you know, maybe I'm not a woman. I'm not an expert of what women want. I find looking at other men uncomfortable. So I went to Google and I asked Google, most hot men 2017, and this is what I got. None of them resembles Carl the Cock. None of them resembles Steve Shives. What all of these men resemble is either the pinnacle of health by looking like this. And by the way, you don't wake up looking like this. This is hard work, by the way, right? This is genuinely hard work. You need to hit the gym. You need to have like a certain diet. I can't do it. I personally can't do it. But these are like the best. You know, this is like what... If you work hard, it's like, I don't know, becoming Usain Bolt in the running speed competition. Like, you can't be better than Usain Bolt, right? So you're never going to look like them, because this is what the article talks about. It's like that this creates anxiety because you'll never be able to look like them. Well, you're not supposed to look like them, okay? But at least you're supposed to try to look like them, and you're going to achieve something that's going to be at least in between being being Carl the Cock and being I don't know, Khal Drogo, right? And all of them like fit exactly what women had said in Newsweek, right? All of them fit the stereotype, right? They're either very healthy, They're very rich, and you can tell this by the clothes that they're wearing. They, you know, portray a lot of sexual potency. Like this gentleman right here, you can this is right. And by the way, just okay, maybe a lot of my subscribers are men and they don't understand. So let's reverse it and see what they try to make with women. And when I say they, is like the social justice enthusiasts, right? They say that all women are beautiful. Absolutely. Who am I to disagree? Look at this gorgeous, stunning lady. Beauty. I would really want to find out who she is. You know, not dox her. Just find out where she is so I can ask permission to print this picture and put it on my house because it's so beautiful. I want to look at it every day. Another example of pure beautiness. You know, she is so beautiful that she felt the need to write it just in case you didn't get the memo. Right? So these are, you know, like what obviously society considers beautiful women now. Because now we have political correctness. You're not allowed to say anything else. But what I find weird is that when I look at most beautiful women 2017, none of them have beautiful written on their body. For some reason, I don't know why. Okay, it almost seems like the version of beautiful women that's being presented to me doesn't fit reality. That, like, you can try to justify and you can have all the philosophy you want and you can spin it in every way you want, but at the end of the day, just like you can't make a gay guy like straight women, you're not going to make a straight man like beautiful women. It turns out that straight men just like ugly women, right? Because if you don't write beautiful on your body, must mean you're ugly. By the way, this must be the odd one out. I just don't know. Anyway, let's look at some of the things that the author was criticized for, right? So basically, the first ones are interesting, right? Hair length, hairstyle, and products used in hair care or styling, right? So basically, you need to understand, women also like men who are comfortable in their own body, which means you need to accept your masculinity. And when I say women, I mean the overwhelming majority of them. Of course, there's going to be some women that maybe have like this weird fetish where they like a guy who takes care about himself a lot. But usually when you're a guy that's acting like a woman by, you know, grooming yourself more than you should, for instance. I'm not saying don't groom, by the way, just so we're clear. Like grooming yourself at an excessive level, like using women beauty products and shit like that. What it means is that you can't attract women with your personality. You're not confident enough. So you have to resort to other tricks. Nothing else worked, so you're now desperate. And if you look at what women find as a turnoff is men who are desperate, they don't like it. So when you're basically using all of these things, you're just showing like none of my natural masculine abilities work. So now I'm trying to impress her by being feminine, by, you know, like, this is something that women do. And again, you need to understand, men and women try to complete each other. Okay, women already spend a huge amount of time grooming themselves. They don't want someone else that spends a lot of time grooming each other. Do you understand the thing, right? Now, this might also be a thing of the age he lived in. Now, just like it's unacceptable today, for instance, to have a Pepe the Frog t-shirt because it's racist. You can't have a Pepe the Frog t-shirt. You can't tweet Pepe memes or Magic the Gathering will ban you for life. Back then, it wasn't acceptable to listen for rock music because back then, rock music was satanic, right? So you having long hair means that you identified with the group of people who listen to rock music, which means that being satanic, you don't have Christian values, which means that you're a bad person, right? Because that's what society views now as being perceived the racist. You don't have progressive values, which means you're a bad person. This is the thing that I want people to get from this. And this is what I really want people to understand from this whole video. Progressives aren't breaking gender stereotypes. They're not. They're not changing society's core principle. It still is be with what the group tells you to be. Back then, the group told you to be a Christian, so you needed to be a Christian. Now, the group tells you you need to be a progressive, so you have to be a progressive. You know, they're not changing the idea that people need to fit in boxes. It's just that the box is different. It's just that now the box means look like Karl the Cock. And back then, the box was look like Khal Drogo. right? And at least looking like Khal Drogo gives you health. You're not going to die of diabetes anytime soon. And it's also meaning that looking like Khal Drogo also widens the scope of women you can date. Hoping that you will find that one woman that makes you happy and spend the rest of your life with. Right? That is the difference. Because men need women. It is something, you know, like women need men need women. You can't be, it's very difficult to be happy if you're not going to have a girlfriend. If everyone around you gets a girlfriend, everyone around you is a couple, you know, you reach the age where you find out that your friends don't want to go out anymore because each one of them have their girlfriends and shit. Or when you go out, there's like this couple that keep checking to see, did you wash your teeth? Yes. Oh, well, my tongue is coming to inspect in public. You know, like that type. So it's really important for someone to get a girlfriend. So in order to be happy, right? Because when you're happy and when you're not depressed, like honestly, having a significant other is a major cure to depression. Like I don't think any pill in the world can alleviate depression like finding a woman that you like, right? So when you have a woman that you like, you're also going to be more successful in business. You're also going to be more successful in other areas of your life. So when you fit the box that society puts you in, you automatically will be more happy as well. And I think that they put the cart in front of the horse, what this author is saying. It's not that they get depressed because they don't fit the box. And because, right, they get depressed because they don't get a significant other. That's the main crux of it. And they blame it on the box. Yeah, but the box is the realistic expectations that women have of men. So anyway, the hair. Then he talks about the color pink, which I find really interesting, right? Now, the color pink is also a gender signifier, and it just shows that you're happy to be a man. If you want to attract a woman, women are interested in men, straight women, at least, right? These are the ones you want to attract, unless you want to attract a gay woman. I don't know why you want to do that. But back in the day, the color pink belonged to men. Not men, but boys, right? The reason is that red was the color of men. It was a rich, vibrant color, right? While pink showed that it's not really red. It's a boy. It hasn't gotten to that point. But it switched around, right? Because it used to be men who wore high heels. Like if you look at pictures of kings from Europe, you'll see that they all wear high heels. It was a noble shoe. And then the feminists came and they were like, oh, we want equality with men. So they started wearing high heels. And when women started to wear high heels, men stopped. The reason men stopped is because they want to identify as men. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Of course, some men can still wear high heels, but it's not going to attract women. That's my point, right? There is no crime in not being a man, in not fitting the box. There is zero crime in you not fitting what society wants you to do. You can dress any way you like. In fact, in today's society, if people bitch about the fact that you dress like a woman, you can actually, in some countries, sue them because they're against your rights, right? They're I don't know, against trans rights or whatever. That doesn't matter. You like, trust me, if you dress like a woman, and let's say in Canada you send someone to the human rights courts because they made fun of you and you say that they violated your trans rights, even though you're not a trans person, they will still get in trouble. So my point is, there is nothing stopping you, but you need to understand that by not doing this, you're not going to get many women. And it's not the goal to get many women, right? It's not, but it is the cure for depression. If you're happy being single and you think that, you know, you can manage through life alone and you don't need someone else, then do whatever. You know, do whatever. But at the same time, if you want a significant other and you're going to go, oh, fuck all this shit, don't come bitching and complaining when you can't find a significant other. Simple. That's my point, right? So then again, standing, sitting, or recycling in position, the commenter considers female. This is like body language, right? It's not that like if you slouch, it actually shows that you're depressed, right? People who slouch, people who, let's say, don't manspread and they stand with their legs like women. I guess this takes to the point where it's perceived sexual ability, right? If you have big testicles, you can't sit in the position like women do. It's just not possible. Allowing wrists to go limp, skipping, singing, dancing, jiggling. Now, honestly, these are feminist traits, right? So basically, I'll come the fuck on. Cooking, really? Really? I can't tell you just how many girls I got interested by having this skill. Some of the best cooks in the world are men. Just pointing it out there. Chef Ramsay, Gordon Ramsay. Huh? Just look at 3 Michelin stars. Most of them are men. Playing with the child, holding a baby. Now, okay, now at this point, even the author himself says that these aren't things that he researched and are just on the top of my head. But I don't think like any woman would look at the man the wrong way because he's playing with a child or holding a child. This is just nonsense. Now, he also talks about men bullying other men for not doing this. And this is the same with women bullying other women for not being women. I think this is a subconscious act of virtue signaling, right? Because if you are not man enough, if you don't meet all of these things, and you want to impress a girl, most people, what they will do is they will point out that other people don't have their attributes in order to look good. And by the way, when men do that, women actually have low self-esteem for them because they notice what they are doing. So if you're constantly a guy that just picks on other guys, most women will notice that you're doing that. As like, for instance, if you mock another guy for playing with a child, or you mock another guy for holding a baby in front of a woman, from my personal experience, she doesn't react kindly to that. She's like, oh, come on. It's basically like her saying she has eyes to see for herself. The fact that you are telling her this means that you're insecure. But anyway, this is my take on the article. Obviously, it's a lot longer than this. If you guys want to read it, I will give you a link to the description. But yeah, I mean, this is really what it is. It's not. I don't see social justice trying to break gender stereotypes. They're not. It's just different stereotypes. And as a perfect example for women, there's that girl who plays Penny on The Big Bang Theory. I don't know her name, but she basically talked about how she makes $1 million and yet per episode, and yet when she goes home, she likes to cook and clean for her husband, and she doesn't identify as a feminist. And there was so much vitriol and hatred from the feminist and the gender activists towards her, saying that she shouldn't do that, and just questioning her decision. And it's like, okay, you're not trying to make gender roles go away. You're just trying to redefine the gender roles. And I don't think that a man like Khal Drogo would be would not feel anxiety in a place that's filled with these type of social justice enthusiasts that would constantly shame him from being a man. Right. Looking forward to hearing the responses on this one.